guys, today we want to talk about having a power of attorney back home and why it's good to have a power of attorney back home. A lot of times when you're living in a foreign country, especially if you're from the US or Canada or the UK or whatever, you should always have a power of attorney. Here's why. God forbid the bank ever says, well, you need to show up here in person or something like that. That power of attorney is just as good as you walking in there yourself. And you can give that person limited power of attorney and tell them what they can and can't do. They can represent you in the bank. They can represent you with insurance companies, whatever you want. You can give them permission to do whatever you want them to do and to represent you. Be careful. Make sure it's somebody that you truly trust to do this job, because a power of attorney is a very serious job. They're going to represent you, and if it's not the right person, or if it's a person that might be a heavy drinker or a drug addict or something like that, obviously you don't want to pick those people. Or if you think they have personality issues and they might rip you off or something, or they might steal a little bit, those are not people you want to pick. Be sure it's somebody that you trust. I have a friend back home, and she does it for me, and she's probably one of my most trusted friends. And we don't get to talk that much, but you know something? I'm very thankful that I have her. Even though we don't get to talk to each other much because we're both busy. She works, I work doing the YouTube and stuff like that, and I got my family. We just don't talk that much. Maybe every once in a while we do. But have somebody out there that you feel comfortable with. I contact her every once in a while to deposit her check for me, things like that. My sister's the one that gets my mail. So I have my sister send it to her, and then she takes care of that. She goes and deposits the check or what have you. And you know something? It helps me a lot. It helps me a real lot to have that person back there to do that. And you know, she can go into the bank, she can sign my check, go in there, and the thing is done. And if I need her to do anything at Social Security, if I need her to go into one of my pension places to go check on my pension or something, or to sign something there, her signature is just as good as mine. So that's the good part about it. Depending on how much power of attorney you actually give her, because there are limited power of attorneys, like I said. You can go to some of these places, like these stationary supply stores and stuff like that, Staples, places like that back in the States. And you can find some of these power of attorneys, and they have all different types there. Some you check them off, how much you want to give them. You know, it's a limited power of attorney, but you check off which one. You just say, okay, I'm going to give her that one. I'm going to give him that one. I'm going to give him this one. Give him this one. Okay, but this one I don't want to give them. Whatever. It's up to you. You pretty much have the power to do whatever you need to do for that power of attorney. Now, I would not get an attorney to do that unless you have an attorney that's a friend that'll do it. And the reason why, because it could get costly unless it's a friend that's like a relative that's going to do it for free for you or something like that, then that's fine. But I mean, find somebody in your family that's old enough and mature enough to understand the responsibility that comes along with that power of attorney. You know, some people want to put their kids in charge. If you have a kid that you trust that much, you can do that. Maybe a son or daughter or whatever, a sister or brother. And also make sure you put a secondary power of attorney on there too. You know, put a secondary person on there. If somebody passes away or the other person is busy, you can use that secondary person, or even a third one if you feel that you need to have a third one. Because you're over here. If your first one dies, you're going to need a second one to take over that spot. And you might not be able to get back in time to change things over. So you might need that because the other one's gone. You might need them to do something. God knows what it could be. But it might be really important. Make sure that you have all that stuff, all your ducks in a row, as I always say, legally, to have all that stuff. Because for me, if I didn't have a power of attorney over here, sometimes I'd find myself up the creek because there's some things that I cannot do. Or I would lose some money because I cannot cash a check or what have you, because I'm over here. And if I cash a check over here, I got to wait 30 days or more for that check to clear before it hits my account. Over there, 3 or 4 days and it's in my account right away. But anyway, guys, I just want to talk about that. You know, make sure you guys understand about the power of attorney that you should need and you should have back in the States if you're planning on coming over here permanently. It's very, very important, guys, to have that. If you don't have a power of attorney, next time you go back home, think about getting one. It's important to have. God bless, guys. Take care.